Welcome to Beyond the Closing Table with Setco Services. In this podcast, we delve into the world of real estate and explore what happens beyond the closing table. Join us for insightful discussions and expert interviews that will change the way you see real estate transactions. Welcome to Beyond the Closing Table. I'm George Brannon Jr., sponsored by Setco Services. Today I have Mr. Clay Owens. Welcome, Clay.
Thanks, George. Great to be here.
You're with Compass Real Estate. Is that correct?
I'm with Spears Group at Compass 38. That's right.
See, I always get everybody's full stuff wrong.
Hey,
the Spears Group at Compass 38.
That's right.
Is that correct?
That's me.
Okay, cool. Let's learn about you, Clay. Where are you from, buddy?
Originally from Tallapoosa, Georgia, which is...
What?
Yeah.
Back up. What?
Yeah.
Said it? Tallapoosa?
Tallapoosa.
Okay, all right.
Everybody thinks that should be in Alabama. Kind of sounds like it, but
Yeah.
and it almost is. But when I was growing up, that was a booming metropolis of about 2,300 people and about
Did you have a
45 minutes
stoplight?
outside Atlanta. We had, I think, 2 red lights at the time, so
Okay.
they've moved up to 3 now.
Is it considered like a suburb of Atlanta now?
No, it wouldn't even be a suburb. It's still beyond the suburbs, but it is
Got it.
growing. Still, definitely people who like to live out there and then drive in every day.
Well, how was growing up in this huge metropolis, as you said?
It was a good place to grow up for sure. Small town, everybody knew everybody's business, and related to probably half the people in town. So, you couldn't really get away with anything. But a great place to grow up.
Any customers up there? Do they visit the beach?
Yeah, everybody from that whole West Georgia area, really, this is where they come to vacation.
Sure.
So I remember growing up, everybody came to Panama City Beach. The fancy people came to Sandestin.
Sounds about right.
So that was the destination, and it still is. So we see a lot of our friends from growing up every summer.
Okay. How was middle school? How was elementary school?
It was good. I learned to read at an early age. I was a smart kid, always at the top of the class. So some of that kids, some kids don't like that, but it was a good experience.
What do you mean? Were you like bullied or something?
I wouldn't say I was bullied. I was always a big kid. So,
Yeah.
but,
You could defend yourself, but
yeah.
maybe because you were the smarty pants in the class, they picked on you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad
that comes
thing.
with it. Nah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, did you play any sports?
No, they always tried to get me to go out for basketball, play football, but I was in the band. So, another reason to get picked on, I guess. But
What instrument did you play?
I played trombone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you play through in high school?
Played through high school, played a little bit in college as well.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, wait a second. Go back to high school. Did they have a good football team? What kind of high school was it? Was it big?
No, not a good football team at all. My 8th grade, 9th grade year, they went 10-0, but that was because we went out of region for the year, to kind of build the program or, to get 10 wins. But
Okay.
depending on how you look at it. And, but it was
Was that
fun.
a kind of way of like you cheated or like you
No, they just went a non-region schedule, so they played a bunch of people basically that they knew that they could beat. So they had a year or two, like a 10-0 year, a 9-1 year, and then they went back to not doing so great. But
Okay.
and not a lot of small town, not a big talent pool to pull from, but some good
Well, they
players
had you-
and some good guys.
They had you playing for them.
Yeah. So they
The
tried.
trombone.
Yeah, they had me playing the
Support 'em.
trombone, so that was the.
Where'd you go to college?
I started out at Berry College in Rome, Georgia, and then I met my wife. She was at the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, and so got involved there and was there for several years. I actually graduated from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia.
So you went to 3 different schools?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you play? You said you still play the trombone in college?
Played the trombone at West Georgia. Yeah.
Okay.
For a year or two, and then I announced for the marching band after that, so I could still travel and hang out with them.
You did what?
I was the announcer for the band at the halftime show.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, pretty easy gig.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fun, I guess. Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yeah. I'd done just a few little things in voice work and that kind of stuff. Nothing big, but that was fun.
Okay, cool. All right. So you went from West Georgia to...
Went from West Georgia to Liberty, but I did all my Liberty work online. That was in it wasn't even online then. That was in the very beginning of distance learning, and they were one of the first schools that offered an external degree program. And as I say, that was even before it was online. They would mail you VHS cassettes.
Now you're really dating yourself.
I know, a big box of VHS cassettes.
Abby doesn't even know what that is.
Right?
She has no idea what a VCR is.
Yeah, they would record the intensive classes and send you those, and then you went through them, and you had somebody who administered your tests. You mailed them off. It was
really,
yeah,
that's intriguing.
So,
and now, but I mean, that existed.
They are one of the largest. They have like 100,000 students in their online program now.
A religious type school?
It is, yeah. It's a Christian school.
Christian, that's what I thought. Okay. They had a pretty decent football team for a minute.
Yeah, they did.
I associate everything with football, Clay, so,
No, they did. And my daughter was actually marching in the band when they were good there for a few years, and they're still doing okay. They've got a good coach there, Coach Chadwell, but I don't know, recruiting, I think, has fallen off the last few years. So.
Yeah, they were decent. Hugh Freeze was up there.
Yeah.
Our speaking of getting in trouble, when you doing stuff like he was doing at Ole Miss and you're in the Bible Belt and you wear that on your heart, that sometimes gets you in a little trouble. So you can go somewhere else. But I liked Hugh Freeze. He was a good coach. Yeah. Anyway, you didn't come here to talk about football. So, all right, what'd you do after Liberty? After you got your VHS degree?
After I got my degree, for about 25 years, I was involved in church ministry. So I was a worship pastor, music pastor in churches.
Really?
In Georgia and then in Texas.
Is that why you ended up doing or graduating from Liberty? Was that a passion of yours?
Well, the ministry was, I had kind of gotten involved in music ministry in church when I was mid-teens, 15, 16, something like that.
Okay.
And really knew that was something that was going to be part of my life. And then when I got out of high school, they asked me to like lead their choir, and so it was a, kind of a country church, had a big choir, everybody come, that kind of thing. But, so I knew that was going to be a part of it, but my degree from Liberty was in religion and business, and my mom said I was going to go into religion business, which I guess I kind of did. But
yeah, that can be a very profitable business, from what I see.
I was very, I was not on that side of things.
Got it.
I was definitely not, raking in the money or anything like that. It was a great period in my life, and it's still something I enjoy doing. I've filled in for a few churches over the last few years. I'm doing some music stuff.
So since we're going down this rabbit hole, what is when you say music ministry?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Most of the churches, that meant that the music on Sunday morning, I was the one who was leading out on that. We'd have, band, a praise team, a small group, or most of them had choirs and some kind of an orchestra. They'd have wind instruments, those kinds of things that kind of backed up and accompanied the music. So
and you were
I
in
led
charge
all that.
Of that?
Yeah, in children's choirs, student choirs, all those groups.
So you led all that?
Well, either led it or just oversaw it, depending on the size of the church.
Did you play in the band in there?
No, they don't have much call for a trombone while you're leading worship. So
the trombone. What are you talking?
We had some, but it's hard to do both at the same time. So
got it. Okay,
I just left that.
So that was your job.
That was my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did this take you?
From Georgia, we went to Arkansas. We were in South Arkansas for 3 years. We were in the Houston area for 7 years.
Are you working at a specific church when you were in these places?
At one specific church, in both of those. And then we moved here to the Panhandle in 2016, so 10 years ago. So
go back. You were in West Arkansas?
South Arkansas.
South Arkansas, whereabouts?
El Dorado.
Okay. All right. So that's here, kind of Texas, right?
Well, yeah, it's really not close to anything.
Okay.
when we were talking to a great community, but when we were talking to the committee about coming there, and I was like, the first mistake I made was to mispronounce the name. I was like, so where is El Dorado? And they said, no, it's El Dorado, rhymes with tornado.
Okay.
So I got that lesson right quick.
Okay.
And I said, well, what is it? What is it close to? And they said, well, it's close to Smackover and Norphlet. And I figured out really fast that
I grew up in Memphis, and I've never heard of these places.
Right?
I was pretty familiar with Arkansas.
It's just a little ways above the Arkansas-Louisiana line. So it's about an hour or so north of Junction City, if you know where Junction City is.
Yeah.
Off of 20.
So how many people were in the El Dorado?
El Dorado. I really don't know how many people were there at the time.
Well, you make it sound very small.
No, it was not nearly as small as, it was a lot bigger than my 2300 that I grew up with.
Got it. Okay.
But and it used to be a lot bigger. El Dorado was for years and years the headquarters of Murphy Oil. The Murphy family is from El Dorado.
Okay.
And they relocated the headquarters a few years ago to Houston. But definitely oil and gas is a big booster and a big part of the backbone of that town.
Got it. All right. So then where'd you go?
Then we went to Alvin, Texas, just outside Houston, kind of between Houston and Galveston.
Now, both these stints, wait, all right, hold on. Let me back up. Where?
Alvin.
Where's Alvin? How do you find these random places?
No. Well, they found me.
Okay.
It's maybe 30 minutes south of Houston. I mean, you could be at Minute Maid Park in 25, 30 minutes from Alvin. So you just head straight south, and then you head kind of east toward Galveston.
So you said they find you, because I'm intrigued. It is the whole church ministry thing intrigues me.
Yeah.
Because I see what I would say humble congregations, churches, whatever, out there, and then I see others that seem to be money-making machines.
Yeah.
And it's perplexing to me.
Mm-hmm.
When the leadership lives better than most of the congregation, I feel like I was brought up Catholic, not necessarily practicing more, but there's definitely something to some austerity when you're asking people for money every Sunday. And did you experience that?
Well, as I say, I mean, I was never in a position where I was, raking in the money or anything like that. It was not a church where that was, the kind of atmosphere.
So your pastors or owners or whatever we would call them in your world. What was this, a specific religion or non-denominational?
Baptist.
Baptist? Okay. All right. Were they humble, if you will, with their money?
Yeah. I mean, they were not paid any kind of inflated salaries or anything like that.
All right. You weren't either?
I was I was not, for sure.
I'm picking up that.
No, I mean, they took care of us.
Sure.
But we were not.
Okay.
In it for the money.
But were they soliciting you as like a music director?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Different denominations do things differently, and some denominations say, okay, you're going to go here and you're going to stay there for this long. And those kids in our denomination, that was not the case. If you were open to a move and you felt like that was something that God wanted you to do, then you could, have your resume out there essentially, and then they could look at those. There were, clearinghouses, databases where they can go and look at those, and then if they feel like there's a connection, they can reach out. And
so it's just like buying another job. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So you spent,
but there's a little more of.
How's the interview process? Let's do it. Come on, I want to hear it.
Well,
because you're in a totally different world now.
Yeah. Well, everything is different because, but usually, at least in those days, not as much now, but usually there's a committee involved, a search committee that the church puts out. And then so they're kind of looking, okay, where are we going to find this person? Who's it going to be? What is the profile that would be a fit for us? And then they will start calling people, talking to people. And then usually from there, it would go kind of toward the pastor and the leadership. Okay, we found somebody. What do you think about this? And so the pastor may be more or less, the senior pastor of the church may be more or less involved in that process, depending on how they do it. And then they bring you to the church and you essentially have a trial weekend. Usually by that point, everybody kind of knows everything about each other. And it's, essentially this is what we're planning on doing. But, you come in and make sure it's a fit and have that weekend, and then the church would do a vote.
Okay. Intrigued. So kind of a job interview. Just for a church.
Yeah.
Not much different. Okay. Fair enough. So were you doing music there too? Okay. So you were in Alvin, Texas for 7 years.
Alvin, Texas.
I don't know why Alvin sounds small too, but it sounds small.
Well, it's not big, but it's, it was nice because you had access to everything. I mean,
you're close enough to Houston.
Yeah, everything. And I mean, you could do anything you wanted or needed in an hour. I mean, you got a medical center, you got tons of museums, you got tons of restaurants, anything you needed is right there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where'd you go after Alvin?
After that, we came here. We've been in the Panhandle for 10 years now. So.
Okay. So did you come here to be a realtor?
No, I came here and was on staff at a church for 4 years before
What church?
I got into real estate.
Are you allowed to tell me? Is it taboo?
No, I can. Yeah, it's called Emerald Coast Fellowship.
Okay.
So I was there.
Is that a Baptist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I know there's one down in Destin. Not a lot of Baptists. I mean, I grew up in the Bible Belt, dude. They're like on every corner.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a lot of,
different.
there's a lot of churches that may be Baptist in their theology, but don't necessarily have it in their name. So
Got it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you come here to do music too?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So when and why did we make the transition to real estate?
Well, it was interesting. I was there, as I say, for 4 years, and my wife and I, when we moved here, one of the things that we learned even before we got here was that this area of Florida has a really big need for foster parents. There are a lot of kids who are in foster care.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
A lot.
We've got some good friends that adopted some kids through the, I guess, a foster care system, but I've never heard them say there was, not that they would know, but that's a big need in the Panhandle.
It is.
Okay. Really?
In fact, there's a lot of kids who go into foster care in this area and then end up having to be in a foster home that's, in Orlando area or Tampa area or Miami. They have to send them somewhere else because there are not enough foster homes here.
Really?
Which creates, challenges with visitation with the family. It creates, obviously, they can't stay in the school that they've been in. So it really can be a lot. I mean, it's a lot anyway if you're removed from your home, obviously, and from your family, but even more so because you're just removed from everything all at once.
Do you know why it's more prevalent
My
here?
understanding is that drug use is a big part of that. There's just a lot of people get involved with drugs and then they're not able to care for their kids.
Meth is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So sorry I cut you off, but I was just curious about that comment.
Yeah.
I'm on the Destin Charity Wine Auction Board, and we support several organizations that help not necessarily directly foster, but kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always intrigued. I've never heard that comment before, but that I can see why.
Yeah.
Okay. So you and your wife have a passion for that?
So we do have a passion for that. We became foster parents within a year or so after we moved here and began to foster and to be open to adopting if that situation came up. And so after about 4 years, I had an opportunity to be part of a new nonprofit that was forming in the foster care and adoption world, specifically to bring awareness of the need, not just here, but across the nation. I mean, there's like 400,000 kids who are in the foster care system in the U.S., and about a quarter of those are eligible for adoption. So like 100,000 kids in that neighborhood at any given time. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't know that there are avenues that they can get involved, either to become foster parents, adoptive parents, or to support the people who are doing that and to support the kids and support that community.
Okay.
So the goal was to raise awareness for that. This was coming off the ground in 2020, and about 2 weeks after I took a position with this new nonprofit, we got word that a lot of our funding that we were expecting was not going to happen as a result of COVID. Some things had changed, and some people who were supporting could no longer do what they were going to do. So I found myself in this new position, but the
were
funds
you
were
running
not
it?
going to be there to support it.
Or were you?
I was running I was the CEO of the nonprofit.
Does it still exist?
No.
Okay.
No.
COVID killed it.
Existed for several months, but yeah, COVID.
That's
COVID
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now, did you, let's go back to the fostering you. Did you guys foster kids?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where does the passion for that come from?
I think just knowing that there's a need, and just something resonates with my wife and I about that. Just knowing that there are kids out there. We have 4 biological kids, so we're not.
You answered my next question.
We're not scared of raising kids. And they got older.
Now I'm starting to see why you need to work hard in real estate.
Absolutely.
So you have 4 of your own.
We have 4 biological kids,
Okay.
and we have adopted 3 additional kids. So we have 7, all girls.
You have 7 women in your house.
8.
Bless you.
Yeah, my wife.
Okay, bless you.
Yeah.
Man, I don't feel so bad about my two, Abby. You are just outnumbered by far,
Yeah.
and I'm outnumbered in my house, but it's only 3-1. You're 8-1, buddy.
Hey, man.
Well,
my life.
hey, bless you for doing it. So it wasn't a lack of having your own kids or something medical, that it's purely you guys have a passion of taking care of kids.
We do. And we didn't know when we
Your
started
wife has to
fostering.
be a patient saint.
My wife is the most amazing. I wish she could be here and you can meet her today, but she is.
Hey, we'll have
incredible.
her back.
Yeah.
Okay.
She she's a mom of 7. She's a teacher. She teaches students with autism.
Where's she work at?
She works at Northside Elementary,
Okay.
Bay County.
Okay.
So she teaches those students. She's very, very good with them. She has, in the past 5-6 years, she's gotten her master's and then her doctorate in education related to special education. So,
Love it.
all while teaching and raising kids.
Yeah.
And going through the hurricane, going through COVID, all this stuff. So she's.
Oh yeah, y'all were here for the hurricane.
We were
so
here for
you live in Bay County?
Yes.
Okay. So did all 3 of the adopted children start out as foster kids, or did you?
2 of them did.
Okay.
One came right before the hurricane, about 3 weeks before that hit in 2018.
How old was she?
She was 10. No, she was. Oh gosh, you're gonna get me. Let's see. It was.
I'm not gonna hold you to the day, brother.
September. She was like 6.5 weeks old, I think, when she came.
Oh, she's a baby.
Yeah, she was born in July and she came in September.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Is that normal on the foster side?
It can
to be that young.
Yeah. I mean, if they identify a problem early on, then they're going to get them out of that situation as quickly as they can. So,
okay. Can I ask, do you know what the problem was?
I know that there were drugs involved. The living environment that she was in, it was not a safe environment.
So this is the state, someone intervening and pulling this baby out of the home state, because they can't care for it.
Okay. And then they place them with a foster home.
Okay. That's incredible for you guys. All right. So was that your first?
That was not our first foster placement. We had other placements before her, but she was the first that ended in adoption. It turned out that statistically, about 40% of the time, when a child's removed from the home, they're not able to be reunified with that family. So, 60% of the time they can, but 40%, that's a lot. So there are a lot of situations where those kids either end up long-term in a facility or they end up eventually being adopted.
Does the biological parent have to give them up?
They don't. I mean, what happens typically is that unless it's a severe case where there's just no chance of them being reunified, is that the state will give them a case plan to work toward the goal of reunifying.
Mm-hmm.
And they work that plan. Best case scenario, they're able to do that, and the kid comes back to their biological family. When that doesn't happen, then eventually at some point the court will terminate the rights. There are cases sometimes where the biological parents will surrender those rights as well if they feel like that's the thing they need to do. Yeah.
So at what point did you adopt this child?
She came in September of 2018. We adopted her in December of 2019.
Okay. So within a year.
About a little over a year.
Yeah. Okay. What are the age ranges these ladies in your household?
I won't tell you my wife's age, but
no, of course not. But I was just the age range of the children.
Yeah, no. Well, our daughter's
super intriguing to me. I don't know why.
We have 23-year-old twins. We have a 21-year-old.
Okay.
We have one who's 19. She'll be 20 in April. And then we have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 10-month-old.
We all gapped it out, didn't you?
We did.
You had 20, 23 to 10 months. Did I hear that right? Okay.
You did.
Bless y'all. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had your biological kids way early on.
We did. Yeah. They were
twins.
Our youngest was 12 at the time that we adopted.
Okay.
The oldest of our adopted kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we had twins.
I probably would have hung up the towel at the twins. I'm just being honest.
We always knew that we wanted at least 3 or 4 kids. And so we and I don't know, we were young and we were crazy because our twins were premature. They were born 4 months prematurely.
Wow. Okay.
And they were
Everybody healthy now?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Our oldest daughter, the one who was born first, she has cerebral palsy. She has low vision, so she has some challenges, and they both have some challenges. Just you're born that early, your body's not ready for that, so that's going to be a tough thing. So they both have had some physical challenges, but doing well. Both have done at least some college. One of our daughters is looking at a program in Tennessee to go to in the fall. And yeah,
awesome.
They're doing good.
Sorry, I took my throat. Okay, so got through hurricane. You had a job with this nonprofit that didn't last very long because of COVID. What'd you do after that?
After that, I just had to figure out what I was going to do next. So,
okay. You didn't want to go back into the church game?
I didn't feel like that was what we were supposed to do at the time. Our 4 biological daughters, they were all high school age, and typically in that arena, if you go to a new position, that typically means you're moving somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we didn't feel like that was what we were supposed to do right then. They were finishing up high school, as it said. So we felt like there was something else. We just didn't know what that was.
Okay.
So looked at some different things. I had been in at least adjacent to the real estate world. I did mortgage lending for a while in the early 2000s, which was an interesting time to be doing mortgages, and doing lending.
You left that part out, dude.
Well, yeah, I did that, and I was serving at a church and doing that at the same time. So,
okay. Did you work for a broker or a direct lender?
I worked for a broker.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you said early 2000s, were you like the boom?
Yeah.
2000?
Yeah. I mean, it was basically you walk in the door and you get a mortgage. You get a mortgage.
Yeah. I need your driver's license and a signature. Here's $500,000.
Yeah. It was an interesting time.
And I'm not discounting your work effort, but
no. I did what I could to assess their situation and give them my opinion on what they could do. But ultimately the money was very free at that time.
Were you doing that in Arkansas?
No, in Georgia.
Okay, got it. So did you? So you lived in Georgia for some time before you moved to Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we were.
Who'd you work for? You remember?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're even in existence now, but it was a mortgage brokerage in West Georgia.
Just independent.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was part of
that was your first venture in sales.
I enjoyed being able to help people. There were a lot of people doing debt consolidation and that kind of thing at that time, and a lot of people purchasing homes, refinancing homes. So enjoyed that. And
why'd you get out of it?
I just got more involved in what I was doing at church, and it was just too much to try to do both.
Gotcha. Okay. So
but I looked at something in that field. I looked at maybe becoming a GC. I took some classes along those lines, and finally thought that real estate was probably where I wanted to be and where I needed to be. Started talking to some brokerages and interviewed with one, and had a good interview, and went into their mentorship program and training.
Did you start with Compass?
No, I started with Corcoran.
Okay.
Corcoran Beverly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Over here?
Mm-hmm.
What made you come over here if you were living in Bay County?
Because I knew that...
Here is, for those listening, Walton County, next door. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, I knew that I would get business in Bay County because I knew people, I had connections there, and I knew that I would interact with them, and I just wanted to have a broader arena to work in. So I said, well, let me look for a brokerage in Walton County, and then I can be in both markets.
Does Corcoran have a good mentorship program?
Of course, I'm not part of it now, but at the time, I know they had a great, and I think that's continued. But they really had a great mentorship program. A lot of brokerages just kind of will throw you to the wolves, and it's okay, figure it out and sink or swim. But they took several months to walk us through. We kind of had a cohort of agents who all started at the same time, so they trained us on how to write a contract, how to read a contract. All the different ins and outs of people that you work with, from lenders to title to decorators, to really introducing you to the whole thing. And it was a great way to start.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Where are we time wise? Like
2021.
2021. Okay, that's not a bad time to jump into the market.
No, I mean I was a little late to catch the big boom that happened here.
Yeah.
But got to learn a lot in that period.
How long did it take you to get your first deal under contract?
I started with them that fall, like September, and had my first deal in December. So
pretty damn quick, Clay.
Not bad. They told me, you're probably don't worry if it's 6 to 12 months before you do anything. I was like, hey, I got a big family. That's not an option.
I got all these mouths to feed at home,
too. That's not an option. So it was actually
natural
really cool.
Inspiration for you, right?
Yeah. But the first transaction I ever did, he was a CEO of a very well-known luxury brand, international brand. He was the U.S. CEO.
Like real estate brand?
A lot. No.
Oh, okay.
No. But helped him purchase a lot. And I actually just did a deal with him again. He called me. We've stayed in touch through the years. And he called me a couple of months ago, and we bought another piece of land. So
okay. Cool.
So it's
good client.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why you have follow up and touch everybody.
Absolutely. That's so important.
Okay. So you're at Corcoran. When did you jump over to Compass, or was there an in between?
Yeah, I was with them for 2 full years and started getting some invitations to talk to some different teams at Compass. They were Compass was they were really getting off the ground and recruiting and talking to folks. And I started as a solo agent, and usually people kind of go the other direction. They go from a team to solo, but I just didn't love doing everything, kind of being out there on my own. I mean, I can do it, and I did well, and had good results from that. But I really wanted to be in a team environment and have some people to bounce things off of, to have that interaction, which we had as a brokerage. But I wanted something that was a little closer. So several teams reached out to me from Compass, and including Spears Group, and so I went with them in January of 24.
Okay, so
sorry, 20. Let's see.
24 or 25. We're in 26.
24, because I've been there 2 years.
Okay. So delve into that team versus independent. Do you feel like you have more support on a team?
I do. Yeah.
Like back office support, not necessarily bouncing ideas off of, your buddy sitting next to you that's a real estate agent, more like back office.
I don't know if I have more of that kind of support necessarily, because we had good support at Corcoran. Some brokerages you got to pay for a desk and you got to pay for your copies. I mean, I've never had that, so I've always had good office support.
Okay.
I just wanted a little more day-to-day interaction with the team.
Do you feel it has been a good move?
Oh, it's been a great move. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to say no at this point while you're sitting here talking to me, but it's like, you're right. Most people get on a team to start and then work their way up on that team. And then, light bulb goes off. Okay, I can do this on my own, or, I'm going to share with the team, or whatever the reasoning is. And then they go out on their own or go start their own team.
Yeah.
You kind of did it reverse. So it was a little intriguing to me. But it seems to be working for you. Right.
It's worked very well.
Yeah.
And Spears Group Jonathan is great. He's a great leader, a great mentor, guy to learn from. He's had incredible success in the market, and the whole team. I mean, we really do. We're able to synthesize together and work off of each other. And okay, you've got this available, and let's find somebody for that. I really couldn't ask for a better environment to work in.
It's a big team, right?
About 20 plus 20 agents.
In the real estate world, that's a big team.
Yeah.
Usually there's like 2 or 3 people on a team with support staff, but y'all make it work. I mean, I know that
we have about 20 agents, and then a couple of full-time folks, and then a couple more who are part-time. Well, yeah.
We got back office people.
We got a lot of support staff as part of the team as well.
So what has been would be your success in your sales strategy? How do you separate yourself from the other 4,000 agents in Walton County?
Yeah. Well, you have to separate yourself, because otherwise, why are they going to go with you versus anybody else? Everybody knows 3 or 4 or 10 real estate agents.
True.
So I really try to set myself apart from the service aspect. that service continues not just through the transaction, but afterwards. So I'm very intentional about following up and making sure that I'm checking on my folks, checking to see how things go, how they, how are they enjoying the property? What are their needs? Are they looking to do something else? Are they looking to make a move? A lot of my business last year was people who were from early in my career, but they were deciding to sell those properties. So it's always rewarding to see that they're willing to work with you again and they want to work with you again.
Yeah.
I've got folks at this point that I've done half a dozen, 7, 8 transactions with. So, so knowing that they can come back to me and knowing that they want to come back to me has been key.
We used to have this piece of our software, the older software that we had that was, most of y'all have it now, but it would have a follow-up campaign from us, but brand the real estate agent.
Yeah.
And we would sell it, if you will, and the stat, and I don't know if it still holds true today with the digital world we're in, but like 90% of clients would use their realtor again, but only 10% do. Because, your client picks up a mailer from me in a specific neighborhood and they end up calling me, and then, no reason they liked Clay.
Yeah.
Or, vice versa, just usually sitting here, but, they just called someone else. And so I think,
yeah, if you're not staying in contact with them, that'll happen, and sometimes it does anyway. But but you got to stay in touch.
Well, that's the point. Do you have software or anything that does follow up? Do you use a CRM? I
do use a CRM, but 90+% of my follow up is me. I mean, if they're getting a text from me, that's me texting them. That's not some software, my software saying, okay, it's time to follow up with them. It's time. So, cause I really want it to be personal and not to say that those things can't be, but I want to know what's going on with them, or, when they're in town. I've got so many of my clients and clients in general here are not here all year. So I want to know when they're in town and when they're out and what's going on. And if they're out and the weather's cold, do I need to go by and check on their house and, make sure the pipes are not frozen up, and just, hands-on follow-up.
You're that guy. It goes and turns the water on.
I have been there in the freezing cold. Yeah.
Well, and I know you're dedicated. We had a deal together with a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Interesting, challenging deal.
It was a challenge.
We got it closed, right, Clay?
Absolutely.
And the client's happy.
Yeah.
I hope.
I'm
still waiting for my invite. When I send this to the client we're talking about, hopefully he listens, that I haven't been invited to the house yet.
Well, they're not in the house yet. So I just talked to them last night, but they're getting there.
They're not there yet?
Not yet.
Oh, man. All right. Well, see, I need to follow up.
These things take time. So.
I guess. The closing was a while ago. That's awesome.
Incredible.
So you separate yourself, but you didn't really give me any. Is there anything distinct that you do other than maybe the follow-up to get new clients, farming, anything?
I've just been successful with that, honestly.
Like, how did you meet our mutual friend?
They actually called us about some properties that we had on the West End. So I met them for a showing. That was 2 years ago now that I first met them. So they called into us.
Okay.
Wanted to see a couple of properties we had. So we went and showed them those. And,
he just picked up the phone. Were you on floor duty or something, or he called you specifically?
I don't know if he called or she called, but, it was just kind of, I was the one who took that call and met them at the properties, looked at them, and they were looking at multiple properties at the time. And she told me later that, the reason that they decided to work with me was because they saw, this agent showed them this property, this agent showed them this property. When that was not a fit, I just kept following up with them and, okay, I kind of know what you want. Here's this. What do you think about this? Would this work? Either going and seeing these properties or just sending it and that's a fit. That's not a fit. And got to know really what they wanted. Cause, at the beginning, you kind of know what you want when you're looking for a house, but there are things you really don't know until you get into it and start looking. So that has to be refined. But they said that follow up and working to help them figure out what they wanted, and to let them know what was out there was what made the difference and made them want to work with me. So
okay, yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
yeah, real estate agents, they I hate when I hear this, but they have this saying that they say sometimes that the buyers are liars, and what they mean by that, they don't really, I think, mean anything bad by that. But what they're saying is that buyers a lot of times don't know what they want.
Sure,
and
I get
that doesn't make them a liar. That just means that they don't know. Because I know when I bought my first house, what I thought I wanted and what we ended up buying were two very, very different things. And I remember my agent at the time being, kind of, it was a curveball when I said, well, we want to go to this house, because he was like, well, that's not what you told me at all. Well, we didn't know.
Yeah.
And you don't know until you really, because when you're not in it every day, you don't understand the market, you don't understand the neighborhoods. You need someone to walk with you through that process.
Well, and even more challenging, I think, here in the second home investment, but more permanent, second home.
Mm-hmm.
They're not here every day. You're not driving through it every day. You don't know the area as well. I live in a neighborhood that half the people still don't even know is there.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, I like how you said you refine it. We built our own custom home, and there's 10 things I'd do differently, in retrospect, but I didn't know, and
that's right.
Your ability to be here on the ground, especially when, our mutual friend, for example, live in Cincinnati, or
Mm-hmm.
and they're down here a lot, but you get people who, I knew where they were before. You don't really leave your pocket. We're sitting in beautiful Rosemary Beach. A lot of people who live here, they go to 30 Avenue and may go as far as Watersound, but they don't ever leave that pocket.
Yeah,
and they don't have to. But you
they
don't know what's on the other side.
Yeah, they might love Grayton, or they might love Dunellen or Blue Mountain Beach, but they've just, people who vacation here, and this is where they come, and that's where they always come, and they think that's where they want to be. But vacationing here and living here are two very different things, as you know. So
I've lived here 25 years, 26 years now. Just the other day, I dropped my daughter off to her friend's house, and there's this cool little neighborhood behind in Grayton. Like, it's all wooded. You wouldn't even know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's behind that little business park or whatever. Yeah. And there's these cool little houses back there, and it's just like, oh, I've never been back here. It's kind of neat. So
one thing I did when I was just getting started, and I partly was to make money, but partly was as a strategy, was I drove for Uber, and I would come over. I would come specifically here, and I would turn that on. And one reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to see all the neighborhoods. So that took me into all the little back roads.
So when you started, this is intriguing. When you started out, you probably needed money.
Yeah.
But those facts, I get that. But you also kind of double-edged sword utilizing it. So you drove all around South Walton.
Yeah, I could have made more money if that was my goal, driving somewhere else, because there's relatively less traffic here. But I wanted to figure out, okay, where do people go, and where do they want to go, and where they're staying, and just listen to them in the car. And that was one of the best things I could have done.
Did you meet any clients driving Uber?
No, and I didn't expect to.
Okay.
You
could.
You could, but
every bartender in South Walton has a real estate license. So, it's like,
yeah, I think that's a little bit easier transition to, but no, I didn't meet any that way, but I learned a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So what is the future hold for Clay?
We sat down as we were coming to 2026 and talked about goals, and I had a great year, best year ever in real estate last year.
Congratulations. Do you mind me asking, before we go there, all right, you started, your first full year was 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much dollar volume did you close in 22? Do you remember?
A little over 9 million, between 9 and 10 million.
Not bad. How'd you do last year?
Last year did about 25 million.
Okay.
So
that's a nice little increase there.
Yeah.
All right.
And shooting for 50 this year. So
I like it. Go Clay. All right. So you got a goal of 50 million this year.
Yeah.
You still enjoy it? You liking the game?
I do.
Yeah.
Some days are tough, but some days, whatever you do, are going to be tough. And
do you cold call?
I'm doing some of that right now. I don't do a ton of it. I have relied on kind of building my network, building from my sphere, and have had good success with that. So if I do cold call, it's going to be targeted, and okay, I'm going to call this person or call on this property because it fits in my area I work. It fits in, what my goals are and where I feel like I can bring value. So,
okay. So 50 million, anything different for 26? Are you shaking up your mojo? Are you doing anything different with your business model?
I am, focusing, we're trying to, because we have Spears Group as a whole, we have an amazing presence along 30A. Had multiple record deals last year. We don't have as much of a presence in Bay County, but I've done a lot of business, especially in that western end of PCB, kind of between PCB and 30A. I would say the east end of 30A, west end of PCB is kind of the epicenter of my business.
Okay.
So looking at being more intentional at some of the Gulffront business and some of the homes in that western side of PCB. That's an area that a lot of people don't think of. It's not really on their radar, but a lot of growth going on there now, and it's just going to continue to explode over the next 10 to 15 years.
And West End's almost kind of, it's like it's going through a redevelopment, or
it is
gentrification, probably not the right word because it's not,
but a lot of a lot of houses,
tear down,
little block houses that have been there for 50, 60 years, getting torn down and new stuff going up. And some of those houses are still there, and they're really cool if you want to do like a rental thing. At a decent price, but
well, it's funny. It's the same beach, same sand, but some people just mentally, I need to be in Walton County.
Yeah,
and but then even the price point,
I mean, I think people are going to.
It's better, but
well, it
more
it
affordable
can be better. Certainly,
would probably be with a more politically correct word. This is a real politically correct podcast. Anyway,
well, for people who want to enter at a lower price point, but they still want the access. I mean, you can, like, if you're in Caroline Beach or something like that, you can still be here in 10 minutes.
Sure.
Here in Rosemary Beach. But you can also be at Pier Park in 10 or 15 minutes. So you've really got a variety. And as you say, the beaches are the same. But it may be a lot easier to get to that beach than it is in some areas of Walton County.
Accessibility and affordability too. I mean, you're looking at the same beach, but your view over here is a lot more expensive.
Yeah. Well, and two, when you're thinking about if you're wanting to do short-term rentals, just you may get a lower price point to get into that market over there. You also have, statistically, just numbers wise, there's a lot larger number of people who come to PCB every year than come to 30A. So short-term rentals tend to perform better. There are pockets where that's not the case, where you can get some really good short-term rental performance in Walton County and along 30A, but on an average, you can see some better short-term rental performance in that area.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Anything else? How can people find you?
SpearsGroup.com/Clay Owens. Clay N. Owens is my handle on all the social media stuff. 850-890-9195 is my phone number. And you can call or text me anytime. I'll pick up.
All right, Clay. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Hey, thank you, George.
Good talking to you.
You too, man.
See ya.